I want to welcome you to 2024, and indeed is a year that will need to see how hopeful Nigerians will continue to be as we try to change the narrative that characterized 2023. I need to welcome you to the big story and quest today. My name is Michael Gabadia. Well, it's the very first edition of Quest Today in the year 2024, and I'll just quickly want to say, as much as we always would enjoy giving you what you need, will also be of great importance for us to truly appreciate your presence and also how much you've been with us all through the last year. And we're talking about 2023, but all the same, welcome to another great time on Quest Television, Quest 93.1 FM. It's our Quest Today, and indeed, our one that we'll truly enjoy. But anyway, you do know how we love to kickstart things. Well, definitely would have gone to the news earlier, but we needed to take the broadcast, January 1st broadcast of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as he gave us a real insight into what the renewed hope agenda will be for Nigerians this very year. We'll be looking at that as we really progress through the program. But it's only right I tend to really introduce my guest that will be helping out through with this special edition of our Quest Today. And with no further ado, I just want to quickly say welcome to the new year. Good morning, gentlemen. And I'm talking of no other person but Comrade FM and also Barrister Godwin Ochegba. Gentlemen, good morning and Happy New Year.
Good morning and Happy New Year to you.
But the only thing is, yes, we saw last year, you know. We did. The whole year has passed by. And what a great honor the new year with ebullience and erudite
journalist.
Officer of the law.
Well, anyway,
before
journalist.
Barrister Godwin Ochegba.
Before both of you...
I'm feeling flattered.
Flattered, it seems so. Before both of you would go that route or route, I'll now plead both of you to hold on. Let's do what we always enjoy doing, and that starts with the papers. And as much as we'll be taking the papers, we'll also be looking at some high points of our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's January 1st broadcast, and some of the major that he said would be, or what his administration has already done. I'll be looking at that also. But like I said, let's quickly run to the papers. And for review today, we have 4 papers to look through as we try to make sense from the major dailies. We have The Nation, we have The Vanguard, we have The Punch, and definitely The Guardian will guide us through 2024 as we look at the major issues. But I would love to always start with The Punch, and let's see what The Punch has as a major one as we look through the papers together. And on The Punch this morning, the leading story reads, New Year, tackle economic hardship Nigerians tell the federal government. And kickers or riders to that, Tiku manufacturers expect or expert lament economic crisis, want federal government to tackle inflation. And I am aware of Nigerian pains, difficulties, difficult decision taking to avert economic disaster, says President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But what I will say you need to do is go grab a copy of The Punch, go to page 2 and 45 of it, and you'll be getting the full gist right there. But let's quickly run to another page, and that's page 44 on The Punch. Plateau, Pope seeks divine help as military combs remote communities. We're still talking about the unfortunate incident that seems to be happening there in the city of peace and tourism, as it's been called. But I doubt if peace is there anytime right now. Yeah, and peace is always important. But both of that hallmark of Plateau State seem to have withered away. But anyway, well, let's quickly run back to the papers. Nigerian borrowed $1.7 billion to boost forex inflows, says MBS. And also on page 20, Port Harcourt refinery begin test run. 12 states get supply soon. And well, this is according to no other but the NNPCL Group Managing Director, Yari, is giving that assurance. But anyway, I'll assure you that we need to take more. And yes, UN 6 end towards in 2024. And basically, 2023 would go down to be one of the hardest when it comes to global war. Bloody one it has really been, and it even walked into 2024. We know there are still attacks between Ukraine and Russia, and not only that, Gaza, as we do know, is on fire. Anyway, traders count losses as police demolish computer village at Power complex. It's a screamer on page 4 and 5 of the Punch. And 4,504 medical laboratory scientists left Nigeria in 2023. Anyway, this according to the registrar. And anyway, what's the picture of the day celebration as the world welcomes 2024? And the very first country that experienced 2024 was New Zealand. And well, anyway, the excitement is still in the air as more countries await to come into 2024. But anyway, that's much you can take from the Punch. Let's quickly run to the Nation and see what the Nation has as a major one. On the Nation this morning, Tinubu pledged to Nigerians expect a fulfilling year 2024. Okay. The economy will get a leap. Living wage coming for workers will secure our people. Akpabio, Abbas, governors, lawmakers, others offer hope in New Year's message. But anyway, if you want more of that message, go to page 4 of the Nation. Let's quickly take others. Kanu okay with Supreme Court verdict, says lawyer, will apply for bail. It's a basic one on page 5. Oshun APC tackles Agbershola over claims on page 27. And fractional speaker quits Rivers House of Assembly, likely to become chief of staff. Well, anyway, it looks as if there's really fence mending right there in the River State. I would really want to say that's the best way to go into 2024. But anyway, let's quickly go to others. Kaduna Governor raises panel to monitor Tudunbiri intervention fund. It's on page 27. And terrorists deposited arms ahead of attacks on Plateau community, says Senator. As father-son killed in fresh violence, the First Minister leads service chief to attack village. And the Nigerians will say, please go there before the attacks. But then we continue that story on page 5. Our 28.78 trillion budget can impact economy by experts while we raise capital components. It's a major one on page 5. Experts project 8 trillion 2024 maritime revenue. It's a good one there. As Alake major leap coming for mining. And you can get that on page 8. But the picture of the day, like I said, is the coming of the new year. And well, anyways, the many world leaders are also having comments to follow. But anyway, we need to follow the trend. That's the much you can take from the Nation. The Vanguard will be the next paper for us to quickly look at. And on the Vanguard, talking tough already. NLC, NECA, Labour Party, others fired National Assembly for raising 2024 budget by 1.2 trillion naira. Budget party? Well, anyways, I would not know. But what I do know is that I need to take more, but continue that story. In case you want to check to know if it's budget padding or not, go to page 5 of the Vanguard, and you'll be getting all the juicy gist. Hardship, decision I've taken in best interest of Nigeria. Sorry, not me. President Tinubu is saying that, so it don't come from my head. Okay. Sterling Bank unveils Africa's first solar-powered headquarters. It's a cherry one on page 10. Nasarawa Government Partners Shippers Council on Inland Port Project. It's another major one there. But the picture of the day is that of the high points. I'm talking of Tinubu, Akpabio, and Edu as it concerns the 2024 budget. But anyway, that's the much you can take there. Let's quickly go to the Guardian as we guide ourselves away from the papers. And the Guardian this morning, Nigerians hopeful amid failed promises on lingering problems. And we're still talking about the year 2024. But let's leave that and just still be hopeful. Ogun community protests alleged forced acquisition of land by Chinese. And it's a major one on page 8. Registrar confirms immigration of 10,697 medical laboratory scientists. Comrade Edomo, I doubt if we go to the lab, if they'll be knowing whether we have fever or not, if all of them have checked out of the country. Okay, let's just return back to the paper. Despite budget surge, poor funding still awaits education in 2024. And you can get that story on page 4 of The Guardian. Tackle corruption insecurity in 2024, Bishop tells federal government. Is a screamer on page 5. But what's more of a screamer also on page 30 is fresh plateau attacks claim 6 lives in Mangu and Bokos local government area of the state. Sad. Why 2024 budget was increased by 1.2 trillion naira? Well, anyway, I doubt if I'll be the one saying that, but I know Godswill Akpabio, the Senate president, will have a lot to explain on that. And times are rough, but we must keep hope alive. Tinubu charges Nigerians on page 5. And Sterling Bank gets world record with African first solar-powered headquarters. It's a major one on page 2. And NPAN announces changes in newspaper cover prices. Woo! It's a major one on page 6. We're no surprise, though. But the picture of the day is all that Nigeria will be expecting: energy, refineries, stock market, port reforms, currency, inflation, manufacturing, labor, all making headway into 2024, and the major picture of the day on The Guardian. But anyway, that's the much we can take from the papers. It's only right I now quickly run or come back to you guys for us to quickly look at some of the lingering ones. And I rather want to start with you, Barrister Godwin Ojegba. And let's look at it. New Year, tackle economic hardship, Nigerians tell the federal government. And a rider that really caught my attention is, I am aware of Nigerians' pain, difficult decisions taken to avert economic disaster. And Nigerians will say, are we not feeling the disaster already? And with those decisions, or rather than the decisions taken to avert the disaster we're already experiencing?
Well, my point on it is clearly is that Nigerians are right if they ask that the president tackle economic crisis this year, 2024.
Okay.
The bane of our problem had been the unplanned or regulated removal of fuel subsidy.
Okay. Unplanned.
It was unplanned.
We'll look critically at that.
When you look at all of that issue, it triggered a few reactions. It led to high-rise inflation, then the insecurity, making people not go to their funds and all of that. Yes. In fact, even in the manufacturing sector, nothing was done. And so prices kept going up. As long as price of petrol was also going up. But if this year, as I said on this platform the other day, if government do certain things, those things that it ought to do will include having to patronize local manufacturers. I do know clearly that Innosi manufactures very good cars. Rather than waste money importing cars, rather than waste money importing shoes for the army,
running into millions of dollars.
Ask the people in Aba to begin to produce shoes for the military and paramilitary officers. That will reduce importation. If our schools are good, people will not be going to the UK.
Are you saying, because that brings us back to it, are you saying if he follows through with the major reforms he's taking, we might just be out of the woods in 2024?
Yeah. When I was young, we had children from the UK in our class in St. Patrick's College. Okay. When I went to Unica, there were people from the US, from all over the world. In fact, that is what we call universe. It was universal. So people can still begin to come from that. The money that we spend, the dollar that we spend, going to school, going to hospitals, and all of that one, if we leave them here, things will stabilize. It's just that I do not think that they have the will, the political will, to be able to march through this economic policy.
Well, anyway, talking about the political will, I would rather come to him, not me saying so. Decisions I've taken is in best interest of Nigeria, says President Tinubu. Commander Damo, I really want you to really look at that. As also a major on the front page of The Guardian, Nigerians hopeful amid failed promises on lingering problems. Decision he took, best interest of the country.
I don't think there is any positive one that I have seen. No. I'm talking of my own as a person. I'm not talking on behalf of the...
Why are you not optimistic, Comrade Damo?
No, look, any sickness that is on that is on your nose, you cannot hide it. Okay. That is where Nigeria is today. If you kill a termite on the back of a child, you show it to him. Otherwise, he will think that you are just slapping him. If you have taken some decisions that is going to impact positively on the nation, you need to come up and explain to us. You cannot run a Bradley plan and you expect people to go into your inner mind and bring out what is in your heart. When you were to remove this subsidy, did you explain to anybody? Did you tell anybody the implications, the pros and the cons? Did you tell anybody the good, the bad, the ugly? You are telling us the decision you've taken is of the best interest of the nation. In what way is it impacting on the nation now, Mike?
At least positively.
Positively. In what form? We should be realistic. Look, we are now an educated nation, no longer the ones we used to have in pre-independence. I cannot see any reason why we should today be moving backward when the people of the yesteryears were moving forward. The president should be at least up and doing. We have the media aid, Ngalale. I think that guy is doing well. If the Mr. President cannot address the nation on quarterly basis like we normally do in those days, I think Chagarisi did it to a point, and I think
Jonathan did a bit of it.
Did a bit of it too. But right from then, we have not been having the presidential briefing. And this thing did not start today. You remember when the immediate past president was in office, the aide said, Mr. President feels shy in talking to local newsmen. He prefers talking to the foreigners, and the foreigners will now come and inform us of what is happening in our country. Same we are experiencing here. If we are in this type of deep mess that we are now, what is wrong in Mr. President or the presidential aide to tell us we have taken social decision, though it is painful, but this is the benefit of it.
Well, anyway, still talking about decision, and I'll be with you, Comrade Odomo. Let's look at the decision taken by the National Assembly to increase the 2024 budget from 27 trillion to about 28.72 trillion. 1.2 trillion was added to it. Anyway, you asked me the question initially, was that budget padding? But I don't know. But according to what they said they needed to do so, to do some critical components of that very budget. Now, 1.2 trillion.
The National Assembly in charge of putting the budget together. No. Don't we have the budget office that monitors all this? At the beginning of the year, all the ministries, the para-ministries, or what do they call them? Parastatals and co.
NBA.
Yes, they are all, they ask all of them to submit their estimates to the budget office, and that thing has a director general.
Yes.
Then at the end of the day, they collate all these things together and they come out with a figure. Don't forget, every budget is encoded in fiscal policy and implemented in monetary policy.
So you're not comfortable with them increasing by 1.2
I don't think I am comfortable at all.
That is not even their
job. It's not their job.
Yeah, but Sir Godwin Ojigba, in the increase, the judiciary was not mentioned. But anyway, let's just remain with the increase itself. Your reactions to it? Because initially he told us some couple of weeks back, and if we could critically get it from the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, he said there will be no point increasing the 27.7 trillion budget, and but funny enough, they had to increase by 1.2 trillion.
You see, my colleague here has said it all. They had no reason to increase. First, their duty is to make laws. Okay. We must get this thing clear. But the separation of power.
But also they do have powers for oversight, and if they feel
they have power of oversight. Okay. Now the power of oversight for the purpose of the listening audience is to ensure that what they budgeted for is being implemented to the letter. It is not for them to begin to put figures. Okay. So what they ought to have done is
right.
If you have any reason to say, look, let us increase it, you submit your budget through the department before it is collated and forwarded to the
because we knew they were going to pass it on Saturday. They gave us all indication, but indication to follow is that 1.2 trillion was added to it in every way. But anyway, like you said, it's not their statutory function to increase the budget
at all. What they ought to have done, if they have reason to increase, they should have done so originally by passing to the various departments what they need to be done in their constituency.
Okay.
Now, doing this one will affect the budget itself because the budget is a collation of income and expenditure.
Of course.
Now, where is that money that they have added? Now, where is it going to be collected from? Unless you're able to explain that one, you'll go too far into mitigating the budget. In any case, budgets usually are not properly implemented in this.
But irrespective, we'll soon go on a break. But I want us to quickly look at this, and it's also stated right there in on the front page of the Nation. Still talking about the budget, they say how the 28.78 trillion budget can impact the economy by experts. So what we are saying is they feel an increase in such will do greatly to help push us to the right direction. But anyway, I'm getting in the direction for us to go on a break now. I'll play with you guys to hold on. I will come back, take your calls, but still remember, we're going to look at some major high points of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu January 1st broadcast, and look at them as we also look, or rather take your reaction as it concerns some of the major headlines on the dailies today, the first day of January 2024. Well, we need to welcome you back, and it's definitely Quest today, the very first edition in the year 2024. And we're still with the papers as much as we're also looking at some high points of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu January 1st broadcast he did just some couple of minutes ago. And I see have both of them right here. I'm talking of no other person but Barrister Godwin Ojigba and also Comrade FM&TV helping out as I will look at this special edition of Quest Today, and also that will usher in the special edition of The Big Story, which will be highlighting on some of the major issues that characterize 2023. And also, it's always been said that in projecting your future, looking back at the past, will do a great deal in you not falling or facing the same challenges you would have. Hence, we'll be looking at all of that later on The Big Story. But anyway, as much as we do this, remember, we'll soon open up the lines, all in the bid for us to get your comment, views, and contribution, all centered on the paper review. But I'll plead with you as we usher ourselves into the second half, and we're looking at President Bola Ahmed Tinubu January 1st broadcast. And I want us to rather start with some of the major he said, and well, let's just look at it. And I rather want to start here. He said, everything I've done in office, every decision I've taken, and every trip I've undertaken outside the shores of our land since I assumed office on 29 May of 2023, I've done in the best interest of our country. And he also went to say, I am well aware that for some time now, the conversation and debate have centered on the rising cost of living, high inflation, which is now above 28%, and the unacceptable high underemployment rate.
2023.
From the boardrooms at the Broad Street in Lagos to the main streets of Kano, Nembe Creeks in Bayelsa, I hear the groans of Nigerians who work hard every day to provide for themselves and their families. But anyway, much as he has said that, he also said, having laid the groundwork of our economic recovery plan within the last 7 months of 2023, we are now poised to accelerate the pace of our service delivery across all sectors. And I want us to quickly start with that very one he said, and quickly look at it as it also correlates with what seems to be on the front page of the dailies. He said he understands. He understands the pains we're all going through. He says he feels it, but like he said, having laid the groundwork of our economic recovery plan within the last 7 months of 2023, we are now poised to accelerate the pace of our service delivery across all sectors. And when he means all sectors, he also went back to say, the German Chancellor, Schwarz, and I agreed and committed to a new deal to speed up the delivery of Siemens Energy Power Project that ultimately deliver a reliable supply of electricity to our homes and business under the Presidential Power Initiative, which began in 2018. Now, this is a positive intake. He also talked about the Dangote refinery, which shall fully come on stream. He also talked about food supply, security, and affordable. We'll step up our plan to cultivate 500,000 hectares of farmland across the country to grow maize, rice, wheat, millet, and other stable crops. We launched the dry season farming of 120,000 hectares of land in Jigawa State last November under our National Wheat Development Program. He highlighted a whole lot, and I want us to quickly look at some of the major highlights of the broadcast he gave us some 40 or 50 minutes ago. Let's quickly start with you, Comrade Efe Odomo, and look at it. He said he understands the pain. That's the reason he's doing what he's doing. And not only that, with the successes of his reforms that has come on stream, he's quite positive that if we accelerate on most of them, we might just be really out of the woods anytime soon.
With the successes that have come, or the successes we are
expecting,
that will come. But the success of making those reforms, like he said, will definitely accelerate and see how we can really better our lives.
You know, Mike, if the leaf stays so long with the soap, it becomes the soap itself. We have stayed for too long with disappointment, so everybody is on their toes, always thinking that will this also go the way the others have come. If we talk of the foreign scene, he has made some very, very good giant strides.
Okay.
But we are also hoping that they do not end in the pipe, like every other one have been. He was in Germany, he was in Dubai, several countries trying to bring in foreign investors. But it does not end there. What have you done about the internal security of the nation? Because no white man will ever come to your land to come and invest with that huge of money without being secured. Okay. The investment is not secured, the city, those coming are not secured. So the first thing Mr. President should do, forget about those ones, every other one will fall in line. make sure the security situation of the country improves, then every other thing will take.
Well, he talked about that insecurity.
If you talked about it, sorry to cut you, Mike.
Let's look what
I'm coming. Sorry to cut you, Mike.
Silently, we have worked to free captives from abductors. Why we can't beat our chest yet that we have solved all the security problem? We're working hard to ensure that we all have peace of mind in our home, places of work, and on the road. So
let me tell you one thing. Did you remember the raid on Entebbe? When the Israelis came to free their citizens from Uganda, the last man that will have boarded the plane that could not, what did they tell his people? He said, waste me along together with these people that are on ground, because every Israelis must be saved. We've been having this problem in Plateau every day. Every day. Why don't you take that bold step? Though it is unhuman to say it, but when the culture becomes critical, you use available to solve the unexpected. This plateau has been there. What is your drone doing? What is your Tucano doing? What is your infantry doing? If before we leave here now, we will not hear news that some people have been killed again.
Well, we had the disappointing news that in Shiri local government area, just some 48 hours ago.
Tackle the security first. Once you tackle the security of this nation first,
and
you will see what will happen.
The child and the father were killed. Yeah, but let's come back to you, or rather come to you, Barrister Godwin Ojegba. Quickly look at some other major high points he said. Yes, the deal he said with Siemens is trying to see how we can fast track it to change our major impediments to development as a country, and that's the issue of energy. Everybody will totally agree that apart from insecurity or security, energy has also given us a heavy blow as we try to advance our development. Now let's look at that. Do you feel if all really goes well in 2024, according to what he has said and the deal they've signed with Siemens, do you see really a change of narrative? As it stands now, our power grid collapsed almost 21 times in the last 5 years.
We are not saying the light. What's collapsing there?
Well, anyways, it's quite sudden. But let's look at it. Should we really have hope that things will definitely change? Just like he said, he's ready to push through a renewed hope agenda to make us smile at the end.
Certainly to change.
Okay.
Now, you recall that we need power for every of our activities.
Yes.
The small MSME, the hairdresser, the welder, the barber, the tailor, and then you move on to the giant industries, they all need power, even in our homes. So once you're able to get in Siemens, of course they have been here before, we do not know what drove them away, but if you're able to bring them in, even in the major cities in the foreign countries, you find these companies supplying power to their states.
Yes.
And the power that supplies 24 hours, 2/7.
Okay.
They don't blink. And so if they're able to frame up this agreement, and we play our part, the foreigners that will come into this country are secure. They are not kidnapped by the people they are coming here to protect and to give power to. And you'll find that the power will come. When power comes, everything will fall in place. Because the industries need the power, we also need it. And so unemployment might just be checked. And we need it. And it is our hope that he drives this particular agenda to its logical conclusion.
Okay.
If he does, that will be better for it.
Like Mike.
Yes.
From Ozoro to my community, Ilu, of which Ambassador Dr. Murphy is the monarch. All the poles, electrical poles from Ozoro down to Aradem, passing through Aradem to Kwale, they fell all the poles, and they have cut off all the high tension wire. You can't find a single one hanging. If these things were energized, will anybody do it? Okay. For the past 3 years, that area has been on perpetual, uninterrupted power failure.
But why do we have to give ourselves headache?
Yeah.
Is it the fault of the government that we, our children, are vandalizing our...
Is it the fault of the community that the government is not giving us light? If they give us light, we don't vandalize them.
It's not fault. Gentlemen, 2024 is too early for us to...
My community needs light, Mike.
Mine also need light. We don't have...
Gentlemen, the problem, like he said is there, and he will see how he will do it. But in all honesty, we as a people should also learn to protect our own amenities the best way we can. But what we will now do is we'll go straight to the lines, get your views, get your comments, and also get your reaction as it concerns the major headlines on the dailies, and also a high point of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu January 1st broadcast as he addressed the nation just around the hour. We're talking about 7 a.m. this morning and I had a lot to say, and some of them will really take in as we try to project and look at it. Well, the numbers will be with you shortly on the screen in case you're watching us on the TV and listening to us at 08022931931, or you can also reach us on 081-888-88931. With those two numbers is the paper review as we try and wait for the big story that will come in some couple of minutes, and we'll really be enjoying the very first edition of it. But let's quickly go to the lines, and I'll plead with you as much as you're calling in. Remember to do what we always would advise you do. That's turn down the volume of your radio set, or better still walk away from where it is, so it doesn't have any interruption with us enjoying your comment contribution as it centers on the major headlines on the dailies. But still remember, the dailies is being brought to you courtesy of Vanguard newspaper. They are the proud sponsor of it. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, happy New Year. I'm really calling from you.
I can barely hear you. Good morning. Okay. Okay, I'll plead with you. We need to really discontinue that. I can barely hear you. I'll just plead with you to call back, and when you do, let's get to hear you well. Please do speak out a bit louder so we can truly get your reactions as it concerns the dailies today. And not only that, but President Bola Ahmed Tinubu broadcast that he brought to us around the hour. And well, let's just see if we take some more, or rather take those calls, get those reactions, and get your comments on them. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, sir. This is Harry from Mosuga.
Harry from
I'm here
Mosuga.
to all of you, sir.
First time calling, and always we say we always pride, and
Thank you,
we're
sir.
really happy with you always being with us. Welcome to it. Happy New Year. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Tinubu pledged to Nigeria, you will get a free my funds and your interest.
Yes.
Yes. The truth is that, yes, actually, whatever he's doing, it should be just towards our betterment. But the processes involved, and like the process, we are not being carried along. Like if that periodic communication with the people, and every now and then, because besides, I'm afraid the budget that is being passed now, all has been passed, and it being checked up. You know that the inflation will still be in process. So I don't know. So we thought that it should really tackle the area of the economy. And of course, the bishop told you to, if you look at insecurity and of course corruption. And finally, only restructuring can address killing inflation taxes. Restructuring is one aspect that we are going over. But it's very germane if we are going to really work up as a country and we are a mission as a nation, in the country of nations. We should look toward that restructuring this country so that it will really work. Have a good time.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Harry, all the way from Mosuga, and our regular caller, and funny enough, first caller in the year 2024. Well, it fits indeed. But let's see if we take more calls, get those reactions, and get your comments all centered on the dailies and also President Bola Ahmed Tinubu broadcast to the nation. Hello, good morning to you. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah,
your name and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Ray.
Yes, your name?
Yes, my name is Ike, and I'm calling from Only.
I always enjoy it when you call to show how really
God bless you.
that care
I
you
want
have
to
for
say
the
happy
nation.
New Year to Quest FM and my honored bishop here. I hope they will ordain him this year. I actually wanted to beat Henry Ogwara from Mosuga.
Okay.
Unfortunately, my response was...
He had a style of doing it.
My career, I don't want to spoil my day. This is New Year.
Okay.
Happy New Year to you.
Oh,
Prosperous one at that.
Well,
God bless
you.
you. That's my thing.
Oh, well, he said, okay, come on. We are not here to spoil anybody's New Year. And I know what you mean. You don't want to look at some of the major headlines. But that's what we're doing. I will not stop doing it. Hello, good morning to you. Hello? Okay, well, we implore you to call back. And please take the baby away from the phone. And we'll get your calls and reactions as we try to do so. Hello, good morning to you. Hello? Okay, we'll just implore you to call back, please. And when you do, speak directly through your phone. And I'll just turn down the volume of your radio or TV set so we can get that clear reception and also connection from you. So we can have your views as it concerns the dailies and
morning,
also President Bola Ahmed Tinubu broadcast to the nation.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you, Mr. Friday.
Happy New Year, sir.
Well, same to you.
Happy New Year, Nigerians. Mr. Friday, ESL calling from Izobono.
Well, nice to have you. Happy New Year. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. The world welcome 2024. A good one. A year of no limitation to our own belief.
Yeah.
And that's so it will work for us.
Amen.
In the mighty name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
The president broker saying that he understands the feelings of Nigeria. That feeling is an emotional statement. That is out of sympathy. What we needed now is a man who will show empathy for this country. Sympathy cannot help us. We don't need sympathy. We need empathy. So let this year, 2024, be a year of empathy where you understand. Not be saying you go to see where things go to do bad. You go to show sympathy. No, we need empathy. We need a better country. Thank you. God bless Nigerians.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Friday, and I'll put a big amen to God bless Nigeria, and also to the issue of change. And anyway, many will say you need to walk before you gain. But anyway, are we in the period of gain? Well, that's what everybody is trying to look at as we renew our hope to see how things will be. Hello, good morning to you.
Morning.
Hello.
Happy New Year.
Same to you.
I seize the opportunity with your permission to wish my stepdaughter, Mrs. Gibisotite, happy birthday every 4 years. Having said that, I want to address the issue of the padded budget padding that they have been overflogging.
Okay.
The meaning of padding that I know, there are chairs you put soft spots where you rest your hands. The Saraki 8th Senate, to my understanding, has done very well, and it's an example other national assemblies should follow. If a government submits budget, the duty of the National Assembly is not only oversight, but for them to look at it critically. They can remove, they can add, they can subtract. All these are the power. Their powers are enormous. So they can do oversight in addition, corruption and whatever you say. But for us to say that the National Assembly, there is the separation of powers we are taught. The separation of power does not mean that only the presidency know everything. The National Assembly members, they represent their constituency. So for people to say that the National Assembly, up to the local government, they have a duty to look at the budget.
So are you comfortable? Are you comfortable with the recent increase by 1.2 trillion?
I congratulate Taraki. They have done very, very well by looking at the budgets.
Oh, you're talking of Gospel Academy, rather.
These ones that are just when they bring budget, they just sign it. We know that they are not doing well. Why are we afraid to tell them the truth? The government to implement all these things and act well. The people are representing the various constituencies. It's a measure of separation of power. It's not only the duty of the government.
Okay.
They are all part of the government as embedded in the constitution and all that. I thank Obama, Mike, and all the others. I wish every Nigerian and myself Happy New Year in this 4th year of,
2020s. Well, thank you so much. And in that renewed hope, vigor and happiness is what we want to share. Let's see how we can really bring back that feeling of, would it really change for us in 2024? Should it be a year of lamentation or a year of hopefulness and believe that things will definitely turn around for our good? But anyway, we're not turning away from it. Let's see if we take one last call and we'll wrap things up on this edition of the
Hello, good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning to you.
This is Felix calling from Mugeli.
Felix from Mugeli, please go ahead.
Okay. This issue of insecurity, the issue of insecurity is something we must discuss. Our daddy there, it's a Odomo, water,
Bredo, I wish you very
I wish so good any young I know one not say yeah good yoto. And what very not me kobu woro. And you write your talk where.
Say your father died now.
Over in that night, what we are seeing today is insecurity is a problem. You wake up in the morning, you say, "This is that dead." You wake up the next morning, they say the key 4, the key 5. What is the problem? It's life is not chicken. The life of human being is not the life of chicken. Then we are talking renew hope, renew hope. How will a man that just lost his family hope be renewed? I want to know.
Well, it's a big question, and the federal government would need to give the answers to. But anyway, I just would say it might be on a sad note, but definitely we're still hopeful, and that's what we have as a people. But what we do have is we have no more time to take the calls, but we need to thank you guys for staying put with us at the People Review, lengthy one, all in the bid for us to also enjoy or rather react to the President's January 1st broadcast and look at some high points. But I'll please you guys to hold on. We need to go on a break now, but when we come back, the big story will be next, the very first edition for 2024.